what is real? Big topic. Well, I guess first I should start out by saying that I wanted to do this video for a while because, I'm really questioning a lot of pre-held beliefs now that, since I got into yoga and Tai Chi and all this Eastern stuff, I'm learning that, one, in Ayurvedic medicine and also, yes, most other Eastern philosophies or religions, they split the fingers on the hands into representing the different elements that they believe the body is made of. So they believe the thumb represents fire, the body has fire, and the pinky finger represents earth. We have earth in us. The Mel Finger represents spirit. Spirit, and so that's what that is. And ring finger represents air, and pinky's water. So I mean, there's a lot of I guess, attention put on the middle finger, and a lot of Tai Chi and yoga classes, I know one move, I was in a yoga class, where, we put our arms out like this, and we try to move only the middle finger up and down, like we're controlling it with our breath. And it's the middle finger, which represents spirit. And also, there is a Tai Chi move where, you put your arms out and you try to, you're supposed to feel a cord, a vein maybe, or artery, going all the way from your middle finger to the back of your opposite heel. Which, I mean, I tell my brother that, in acupressure, if you have a congested nose, you should, squeeze the top of one of your toes. I think the middle toe is the best. So I say third toe. They ask me, how is your toe and your nose connected? How is your ring finger and your heart connected? It's we have all these, we call them meridians, but I mean, the body does have the whole circulatory system and all the veins and arteries, and it is all connected. I mean, people wouldn't be able to live if the heart wasn't connected to the brain, or the knees weren't connected to the brain, or anything. I've also recently been thinking about something about how books have a spine, and so do we, so do humans. Well, I think all vertebrates have a spine, but that's the definition of vertebrate. But thinking about the spine, I guess in Eastern cultures they put a lot of attention on the spine, and I mean also in Western cultures there is a lot of attention on the spine. But if you didn't know, the Russian word for back is spiny, so that means the spine really controls everything, because the spine of a book holds all the pages, and then the spine of a person, you think, that must, spines connect to everything. There's a lot of, just start thinking about the spine has, I think it holds a lot of information. Human spine is you're a pole, and it's centered. So I don't know, there's a lot of importance of your spine. When the spine's healthy, everything's healthy. That's what they say in Eastern medicine, and that's kind of true. So I'm back to thinking about the middle finger, there's a lot of attention put on it in all these Eastern philosophies. And I mean, in the West, like, we're taught that the Mel Finger, like, don't hold up because it's like flipping the bird, or it's F you, it's bad, it's curse. And I think we should question these. Like, we're taught all these things, but okay, maybe the person who taught us had something else in mind, or maybe we didn't fully grasp it. So, they say that you should ignore your middle finger because, I don't know, like, F you, or it's a bad thing, but I don't know, it represents spirit, and like, maybe they just want to keep us from looking into this, what spirit really is, because, also there's, a thing about fairies, like, a lot of people don't think fairies are real, they think, no, they're just for little girls, or whatever, and, I mean, I get why people don't believe in fairies, but, I mean, like, I read a book called Mad Bear, or, there's a bunch of books by these Native American medicine men that they have a lot of information in them, and, I mean, this book I read was really cool because, I mean, the medicine man talked about how in the old days before Europeans, the women of his tribe would, like, take their babies out into the woods, and, like, they'd sing songs, sit by a tree, and they'd sing songs, and, like, they'd turn around, and, like, the babies would be gone because they got stolen by fairies. I mean, and he even had, like, in the book, he wrote that he had on his desk a skull, a little tiny skull of a fairy. Like, the Native Americans, I guess, talked about little people a lot. So, I mean, like scientists, they didn't think the platypus was real. When people talked about the platypus, they brought them a like, what was supposed to be the body of a platypus, and they were like, some sick person must like sewed parts of a duck and beaver together. And so for a long time they didn't think platypi were real because I guess aren't platypi poisonous, so people didn't want to, like, they didn't want to handle live platypi, but they so science for a while didn't think, they thought it was a hoax, but I mean, then I guess the scientists saw one alive, and they figured, oh, these people weren't really trying to trick us. They were telling the truth. They just, it's dangerous to, yes, walk around with these live Popeyes poisonous, and so it's it's like when they talk about fairies, like, people say, well, I talked to this one guy, like, he didn't just say, what? Fairies aren't real. He said, I don't really know enough about what a fairy is to say whether it's real or not. Because, I mean, there is a lot of, like, you might have this idea of what things are, but, I mean, there are a lot of non-popular versions of things, like, I mean, we ordinarily think of basil or spinach as green, but no, they're purple and yellow varieties, and red, and, like, we think of oranges as orange, but no, they're blue and green varieties. They're just not popular. It's like not many people do them because, I don't know, they're just not in abundance, or we grow up in these one places, and, like, I've lived in Pennsylvania all my life, same house, and there has to be, like, culture is just a thin veneer of familiarity. It's based on what's familiar to you. So, like, we draw a blind eye towards all the things that just we don't know them because like they're just like more common, and like Asian farmer markets are like that's actually something I'm really interested in. Like Asian farmer markets, they have so many more varieties of like all the fruits than American farmers markets, because like over here in North America there's like I guess there's less biodiversity of plants and fruits than over in I guess Asia. So like we only know what's common to us. We only like 100 years ago, I guess Native Americans before Europeans, if they were Native Americans that lived in Pennsylvania, like they wouldn't know what a pineapple was. They would have no idea what pineapple was. But it's like now we just have all these imports from like I live in Pennsylvania, but you know, pineapples don't grow in Pennsylvania. So, yeah, if you just don't know it, if you don't have it, you don't know it. And so, what I want to talk about, whether things are real. So, I mean, like when in, I guess, mythology, that in folklore, they talk about a genie in a bottle. Like you get a wish from, I don't know, wishing stone or a wishing troll by rubbing his belly, and I don't think it's a genie when or a wishing lamp or rubbing whatever. It doesn't work like you just all of a sudden there's this oh no weird phantom ghost thing that pops out of the lamp and like oh no it's this man with no legs that says that's wearing a turban and seems to be made of light, and he goes, "I will grant you 3 wishes. Now, what are your wishes?" And you wish for more wishes, and of course you can't do that because that's not how genies work. And it's not like you just say something and like all of a sudden it is done. Um, I don't think. I think what they really mean is as you start to sort of put your energy into a lamp, I guess by rubbing it, it's like all of a sudden your energy will things will start to go your way. Um, so I mean magic, like you can get your wishes, but it's really complicated, or it's really not complicated, but people just are so conditioned towards overthinking these days. It's like, yeah, overthinking. It's like it it doesn't always work out the way you think, or it might manifest as just you intend to do something, and it might manifest as you got the intention to do something, or you might intend to get a new job, and that manifests as like your friend calling you up saying, "Hey, they need work," or they're hiring at this place at my work, or whatever. Or you need to like actually go out and do the work, like start reading the newspapers and look in the help wanted ads and blah blah. Um, so I think that's what else I want to talk about. Oh, I guess I wrote this poem about not knowing whether things are real, so I'll read to you and might explain things more. It's white snow, yellow sand, red roses, green grass, and red earth. We all can paint a picture, but do we have the whole picture? Like a merry-go-round, we don't look back at the other paths we could have taken. Put in the corridor, we see there are no windows. We were taught, but maybe that was wrong. We were taught, but maybe that was wrong. Blinders put on a racehorse, we don't work for ourselves. Do you know what we're fighting for? Do you know the purpose? We all only see one thing. Do you know what's at the end of the cave? What my feelings were and what they are now? We all love stories. Anyone can cook. So I mean, I guess that's like the last line. We all love stories. Anyone can cook. Talks about how, well, one, stories, people kind of, they jump to conclusions or make stereotypes about things like meditation. Like they ask, why do the Spaniards have the siesta in the middle of the day, and ask people, why do you think that? And they say, it's just tradition. It's like some weird thing. I'm like, no, I think they realize that meditation is like, if you try to just work a full straight hours and don't take a break, then you'll just get less productive and like you slow down as time goes on because you need to recharge. It's like, so they just know they're actually more efficient when they meditate. And so we make all these stories about stuff, but we don't really know what they are. And when I say anyone can cook, well, I mean that's a reference to Ratatouille. Like anyone can make stories, but not everyone's right, or they might be doing something, but they don't know why. They don't do it with any purpose or intention. And when I say put blinders on the racehorse, I mean that's something that when I was doing a Qigong set at lunch in school in high school. Uh, Instead of eating a lunch, I just did I did martial arts thing, and then this teacher kind of he smiled at me and kept talking about how he went through life with blinders on. It's like blinders put on a racehorse. So I mean, like we get television throughout life, like when you just focus on one thing, like from I guess home to school to work or to I don't know going back and forth. It's like when you don't see all the other things, what life really is, then you kind of miss out on the purpose of life. So it's like blinders put in a corridor. It's like we can only see, we get tunnel vision, and I mean, so question these things. Like I think that's the whole reason Marilyn Manson was so. Why Marilyn Manson seems to be so like satanic, or he's not really satanic at all, but like why he seems so like why he wears the like makeup and all the weird jewelry, and yeah, why he seems so to put on all these theatrical things. Not because like he's not really that type of person, but like he goes in their interviews and he says that he respects people just because they were brave enough to like ask him questions about what he does. So I mean that's all he wants people to do. His whole point in doing what he does is he just wants people to question, like wants people to think, like, is that what you want to believe, or was that what you were told you have to believe? So yeah. Question whether things are real. I mean, like when people ask me about the invisible world or spiritual world, I tell them it says real as the physical world. Then I wonder, is the physical world really real? Because I mean, there are a lot of other dimensions, and yeah, and I mean different possibilities. Like I put those flags on my wall, like so every day is not the same. You could go home and make a flag of your your attribution, or like your tribute to one of the things you love. Like I love Russia. That's why the Russian flag is there. I like Romania. I might be a Romanian. For before my I think great great grandmother left Poland. We don't know where my family came from, which is really something I'd like to find out. Um, Flag of the Aboriginal Outback Australia because they're my reference group, and so I mean, lots of alternatives, lots of possibilities. And like, keep in mind, there's not just sweet basil, there's not just sugar pumpkins. The pumpkins you get for Halloween, there are prize winner pumpkins, which are for like people who really do professional carving, or like, there are a lot of different types. I mean, there's oval basil, there's I think there's Queen Sheba basil, or oh no, there's green dragon basil, there's lots and lots of different types.